This is Change Radio News, read by Shumiso Sibanda. Here are the headlines. Police raid MDC Alliance Offices. MDC Alliance Vice President visits Gogotangirai. Millions to go hungry in Zimbabwe, warns the United Nations. And now for the news in detail. On Wednesday, police in Gweru raided the MDC Alliance provincial offices, apparently looking for knob carries, machetes, and other weapons, saying they want to be used for violence. Acting MDC Alliance Secretary General, Honorable David Chimini, said the police must stop these hallucinations as MDC Alliance is not a violent party. Our Change Radio correspondent, Shuraim Boma, spoke to MDC Alliance Acting Secretary General Chimini and had this to say.
Secretary Chimini, thank you very much for coming through to Change Radio. I'm Shuraim Boma. What can you tell us about the happenings at your MDC Alliance Midlands provincial offices and the conduct of the ZRP?
It's very unfortunate that police have resorted to this thuggery. It is not necessary at all for the police to start imagining things. As a party, we are law-abiding and we do not go that far to start keeping weapons to attack government or to attack anybody. We believe that the government knows very well that we are a recognized political party and we abide by the law of the country. We are trying to do all we can to remain as an opposition party that is operating within the confines of the law of the country. But for a government to start thinking that we are a banditry kind of organization, this is very unfortunate. However, we will not be deterred to continue fighting for the rights of every individual in this country. Police and government are fully aware that we are a strong opposition party. And as an opposition party, we have a duty and responsibility to call government to account. So for any government or for the police to start using tactics that would deter, intimidate, or threaten us, we don't believe government will achieve on that course. So we maintain that there was no need at all for police to go and search our offices. We are a law-abiding party, and we maintain that the government should respect us and respect the will of the people. They know very well why they suspect us that we may be trying to fight the government. As an opposition party, we have a right to fight, but we fight within the confines of the law.
Still on that same note, the MDC Alliance spokesperson, Advocate Fadai Mahere, lamented the behavior of the police as laughable and insisted that it is in fact an intimidatory tactic as a party does not keep any weapons. Our correspondent Shuraim Boma spoke to MDC Alliance spokesperson Advocate Mahere and shared this to say.
Raid by the police on our Midlands party offices is absolutely laughable. It's an act of intimidation and persecution. The MDC Alliance does not engage in violence of any kind. We do not house weapons, not carries or any other items that would, constitute weapons or, other, acts or, instruments to carry out acts of public violence. We've got no intention to carry out acts of public violence. Clearly, this is another coordinated attack by the police to persecute our members. This is an excuse by the system once again to intimidate our members, and we say as the MDC Alliance that this continued persecution of us must stop. This is an excuse clearly to try and harass and arrest our members.
MDC Alliance Vice President Lynette Karenyi-Kore visited Mbuya Changirai on Wednesday. Vice President Karenyi was accompanied by Manicaland Provincial Chair Lady Senator Keresenzia Chabuka and National Executive Member Councillor Sophia. Vice President Karenyi handed Gogo Changirai groceries on behalf of President Chamisa and the MDCA Standing Committee. Vice President Karenyi spoke to Change Radio after the visit, and this is what she said.
Thank you very much, Change Radio. I'm happy to report on the work given to us by the President, Advocate Nelson Chamisa, and the party. On the 23rd of December, which is yesterday, we visited Gogo Changirai at a residence, Kumusha Chaiko Kubohera. I was accompanied by Senator Chabuka and Councillor Sophia. We delivered various groceries, and we are happy to report that she greatly and sincerely appreciated the thoughts and efforts which is spreading the theme of love and sharing during Christmas. Nekuti munguwa yeChristmas ndo patinowana hama neshamwari tichipa vanenge vachishaiwa nevamwewo vehukama vanenge vatishanyira. And takafara kuona Gogo kuti Gogo vakasimba and ivo vanga vachifara. She wishes us well and encouraging us to keep praying for God remembers his children, and she also encourages us to keep struggling for the survival of the party as a united front. Vakaramba vachingotaura nyaya yekuti rambai makasimba muchiramba muchikurudzirana pachezvenyu kuti murambe makamirira vanhu veZimbabwe kuti muvamirire kuti ivo vazodya vachiguta. Vakataura nyaya yekuti izvozvi zvamandipa ndichange ndichipawo vavakidzani vangu kuti vavanewo zvekudya munguva yekisimusi yasvika kudai. And lastly, may I also take this opportunity to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, and I want to thank the Almighty who made us reach this far as a party. It was not easy. Asi Mwari akangotirwira tikasvika patiri kudai nhasi. Saka regai ningokutendaiwo ndichiti Mwari wokudenga azokuitirai zvakanaka. Let's not forget to observe COVID rules. Tingowanikawo tichishanyirana nehama tichiita kuti pachezvedu tidzoke tiine utano. May God bless you. Thank you very much, Change Radio, with the work yamuri kuita kuti muri yeZimbabwe nevari kunze vawane wo kunzwa kwakanaka kwemumhepo vachisheyawo nevazhinji. May God bless you. Thank you.
Zimbabwe is reported to be on the brink of man-made starvation, with close to 60% of the population now food insecure, a UN envoy has said. Hilal Elva, the United Nations Special Rapporteur on the right to food, said the situation was likely to escalate political instability in the southern African nation. After an 11-day visit to the parts of the country worst hit by the El Nino-induced drought, Elva said widespread food insecurity was being exacerbated by hyperinflation. He said that the people of Zimbabwe are slowly getting to a point of suffering a man-made starvation after the violent farm invasions in the year 2000. Political scientists warns of Stone Age rigging of 2023 elections. Dr. Pedro Sairuanya, a leading political scientist and director of the Harare-based Zimbabwe Democracy Institute, ZDI, said there's a possibility of ZANU-PF rigging the 2023 elections by votes that exceed the registered voters. Speaking to Shuvai Mboma, our Change Radio correspondent, Dr. Ruhanya said the opposition must be very worried of Stone Age rigging by ZANU-PF. Here is more from Dr. Ruhanya.
The essence of my first tweet is that given what we have seen following the assumption of power by Mnangagwa in 2017 following the coup, and the attempt to decimate the movement for democratic change through the firing and use of the judiciary and organs of the state such as parliament to take members of parliament, elected representatives in councils from Nelson Chamisa's MDC Alliance to Thokozani Kupe, who despite losing the elections ends up with MPs, with councils, is a clear warning that ZANU-PF will use every aspect of the state at its disposal to win power. And this means that if they have the capacity to transfer elected representatives elected on behalf of a different political party to an unelectable individual in Thokozani, an electoral loser in Thokozani, in terms of councils, in terms of members of parliament, it means that in 2023, we may have a situation that happened, I think, in 1923 in Liberia, where the number of voters exceeded the number of those that were on the voters' roll, which points to the effect that there was a Stone Age rigging.
A recalled Chegutu councillor remains defiant. MDC Alliance Award 2 Chegutu West councillor Rides Machekera remains defiant and solidly rallies behind the leadership of Advocate Nelson Chamisa. Speaking to Change Radio, he says he was recalled because he refused to follow Thokozani Kupe. Let's listen in.
Thank you for having me on the program of Change Radio. I'm Councillor Rides Machekera from Chegutu, Ward 2. I'm here to talk about the issue of my recall from Chegutu Municipality Council. I was elected in March 2020. It was a by-election where I triumphed against Prosper Mtongerwa by a large margin and was recalled by this cabal of Kupe and his allies because I stand for the leadership and I stand for the truth. I stand for the light that is being represented by the leadership of President Nelson Chamisa. President Nelson Chamisa, he was elected by the people to represent them. So I'm siding with the people. I'm not going to sell the struggle because the struggle is for the people. The struggle is not for President Nelson Chamisa. I want to send this message clear to Madam Kupe that, Madam Kupe, you are not representing the people. You are representing the darkness which is ZANU-PF. Madam Kupe, I want to send this message loud and clear that by recalling us, especially recalling me in a small town like Chegutu, you have lubricated the struggle. You have aided the struggle that the people now see that you are not representing them. you are representing some other organizations that have been long gone, been resisted by the people. So I'm here, and I'm going to continue representing. I'm going to continue representing the people. I'm not going to sell the struggle, whatever cost that it might take. I'm going to stand by the people. The people who voted me into office are the same that will reject me on primary elections, or that will reject me on a general election. Not to be recalled by someone who was even rejected in Blawayo by his own people, was rejected throughout the whole country. You get a mere 40,000 votes over 2.6 million votes that got President Nelson Chamisa. I say this, I'm not even bitter about the recall. I know the struggle has been strengthened. I thank you.
And now moving on to COVID-19 news. The Health and Childcare Ministry yesterday warned of an upsurge in COVID-19 cases during the festive season due to complacency after the number of positive cases surged in the past few weeks. This warning came after South Africa dictated the severe coronavirus variant, which is suspected to be causing the rapid spread of a second wave that affects younger people. The public is advised to avoid public gatherings and carry out frequent correct hand washing with soap and sanitizer. Meanwhile, in some very sad news reaching Change Radio, 4 people are reported to have lost their lives as chaotic scenes caused by congestion continue to reign supreme at the Forbes border post. Only haulage truckers with COVID-19 certificates are being allowed entry into Zimbabwe, leading to long queues and delays. In regional news, Malawi will close its borders for 14 days and restrict public gatherings to 100 people following a new surge in cases of the coronavirus. The Southern African Nations Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 said on Tuesday. After nearly 2 months without a new positive case, Malawi on Tuesday recorded 46 new infections, bringing the total number of infections to 6,248, with 187 deaths, according to the Health Ministry. And now on to weather news. A Cyclone Idai in Manicaland survivors remain intense as rainy season peaks. Over 700 people in 170 households in Chimanimani, whose homes were destroyed by Cyclone Idai in March 2019, are still living in tents as rainy season peaks. Approaching 2 years since Cyclone Idai, the Zimbabwean government has not made any efforts to build houses and relocate the affected families. Meanwhile, cyclone watchers are closely monitoring Cyclone Chalane, which is expected to make landfall in Madagascar on Boxing Day. With winds up to 165 kilometers per hour, devastating inland flooding should be anticipated. Areas around Zimbabwean Eastern Highlands are warned of the flooding. To end the news, here are the headlines once again. Police raid MDC Alliance Offices. MDC Alliance Vice President visits Gogo Tangerai. And millions to go hungry in Zimbabwe, warns the United Nations.